Have you ever looked at your dog and just wondered, what is going on inside that furry head of yours? You give them best food, the comfiest beds, and all the cuddles in the world, and yet they still choose to eat grass or spin in a circle 10 times before they finally flop down. These behaviors are so common, but they're also completely baffling. It often feels like our dogs are living by a secret rulebook we never got a copy of. Well, think of this as your official translation guide. We're about to decode 6 of the quirkiest and most common behaviors that make us ask, why on earth does my dog do that? Let's start with a classic, the one that turns our well-fed, fancy biscuit-eating pals into backyard grazers, eating grass. When you see them doing this, a dozen worries flash through your mind. Are they sick? Hungry? Did I forget to buy the kibble they like? The truth is, while this looks weird, it's incredibly common dog behavior. One of the popular theories is that dogs eat grass to make themselves throw up when their stomach is upset. It sounds believable, but studies have shown this is only a myth. Less than 25% of dogs actually vomit after eating grass, and most don't even show signs of being sick beforehand. So while it can happen, it's rarely the main reason. A more likely reason is a simple dietary need. Your dog might be craving more fiber, because grass is a great source of roughage, and if your dog's diet is little lacking in it, they might just be trying to help their digestive system run a bit more smoothly. Think of it as though they're reaching for a salad to keep things regular. Another powerful driver is pure instinct. Just remember, your dog descended from wild animals. Studies of wolves show that surprisingly a large number of them eat grass. It's thought to be an ancient ingrained behavior. Stems from their ancestors who would eat their entire prey, including whatever plants were in its stomach. So your dog isn't strange, they just might be channeling their inner wolf. And sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. Maybe they're bored and they just like it. Dogs explore the world in their mouths, and the taste or texture of grass might be enjoyable to them. If your dog is hanging out in the yard feeling a bit ignored or anxious, nibbling on grass can be a way of passing the time or even a comfort habit. Kind of like how a nervous person might bite their fingernails. So should you worry? Generally no. As long as the grass isn't treated with harmful pesticides, a little grazing isn't going to hurt anything. However, if the habit becomes excessive, or if it's happening with repeated vomiting, low energy, or no appetite, it's definitely time to check in with your vet, at least to rule out some of the underlying issues. Next up is a ritual that we all see, where they're digging and spinning in their bedding before they lay down. Your dog has the plushest bed in the house. Before they settle in, they have to perform a few tight circles. This isn't just a random quirk. It's a deep echo from their wild past, a survival behavior coded right into their DNA. The leading theory is that this is an ancient nesting instinct. Long before memory foam beds, a dog's ancestors had to make their own beds. By circling, they would trample down the tall grass, leaves, or other brush, or maybe even snow, to create a softer, more comfortable spot. This action also served a vital safety purpose. It would scare away any snakes or insects or critters under the undergrowth, making sure that their resting place was a little bit more safe. Finally, it's just about getting comfortable. I think this is probably most likely. Just like we fluff our pillows, a dog circling helps them arrange their bedding exactly how they like it. In hot weather, their ancestors might have dug a bit to find cooler soil, which I see all the time, especially for dogs that are getting overheated. They love digging up soil and laying in it because it cools them off. It makes sense that the circling helps them curl into a tight ball in the wintertime. That way they can save heat. So when your dog spins on their bed, they're just creating the perfect, cozy, and safe little nest for themselves. In most cases, this is behavior completely normal. But if circling becomes obsessive, or if your dog seems to have a hard time settling down, especially in older dogs, it could be a sign of stress or a neurological issue, and a visit to a vet might be a good idea. All right, let's talk about the one behavior that makes even the most dedicated dog owners cringe: eating poop. The scientific term is, hopefully I say this right, is coprophagia. And as gross as we find it, It's surprisingly common and often a natural thing for dogs to do. One study found that 16% of dogs were serious poop eaters, meaning they'd been caught doing it at least 5 times. So if this is your dog, you're not alone. A mother dog keeps her den clean by eating her puppy's feces. The instinct not only keeps the nest clean, but more importantly, prevents the scent from attracting other predators. It's a behavior rooted in hygiene, protection, basically a remnant behavior from their ancestors. Nutritional deficiencies have also been suggested as a cause. While it's less common for dogs on high quality diet, if their food is missing certain nutrients or enzymes, they might turn to eating poop. The poop of other animals, especially plant eaters, can contain semi-digestive material that some dogs find appealing. How many of your dogs are eating rabbit poop? My goodness, I don't know about you, but my dogs think they're like little raisinets. So sometimes it's a cry for attention. If a dog learns that eating poop gets a huge dramatic reaction from you, they might keep doing it, just so that you notice them. It can also stem from stress or boredom. For dogs stuck in small spaces or who aren't getting enough exercise or stimulation, it can simply be something to do. In most cases, while it's disgusting, it is relatively harmless, especially if it's their own. The main risk is eating feces of other animals, which could contain parasites or even toxins. If the behavior starts suddenly, seems compulsive, or comes with weight loss or appetite changes, it's crucial to see a vet. That way they can rule out the medical issues, or like parasites or other conditions that might increase appetite and lead to this unfortunate habit. Now for the behavior that can ruin a perfectly good walk, the dreaded scent roll. Your dog finds something utterly disgusting, like poop or a dead animal, and proceeds to roll in it with pure, unadulterated joy. This behavior, while repulsive to us, is a completely natural and deeply ingrained instinct. The most popular theory is that it's a survival tactic, inherited from their wild ancestors. Before they were our beloved pets, canines were hunters. By rolling in the feces of other animals or carcasses, they could mask their own scent, allowing them to sneak up a little closer on prey without being detected. Another theory is that it's a form of communication. Research on wolves suggests they roll in strong scents to bring that information back to the pack, kind of like ants. It's their way of saying, hey, smell what I found over here, which could lead them right back to the food source. Your dog might be trying to bring back the news of their exciting discovery to you, which isn't so exciting all the time, is it? Finally, they might just like it. A dog's sense of smell is thousands of times more powerful than ours. So a scent we find foul might be complex and interesting to them. It could also be an attempt to get rid of the smell they don't like, such as perfume in their shampoo, especially after a bath, or all those colognes that we like to dose our dogs up in. While this habit is harmless, it's best to keep your dog on a leash, especially if you know there are tempting smells nearby. And to have a good leave it command, that's very helpful. There are few things as intense as a dog stare, whether they're watching you eat, following you from across the room, or gazing into your eyes while you're on the couch. That unblinking stare is full of meaning. It's not bad manners, it's one of their best ways to communicate. The most heartwarming reason is to show affection. Just like people gaze into the eyes of someone they love, dogs stare at their owners to express their bond. Research has shown that when a dog and a human share a look, both of their brains release oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This is the same hormone that helps mothers and babies bond. So when your dog gives you those soft, relaxed eyes, they're basically hugging you with their gaze. Of course, a lot of staring is also about wanting something, like the food on your plate at dinner time, or a snack that you might have in your hand. Maybe they want to go for a walk. It's the dog version of tapping you on the shoulder. Your dog might be staring because they want a walk, a treat, or a bite of your sandwich. They are experts at reading our body language and routines. They watch us closely for clues, like grabbing the leash or walking towards a pantry, hoping that something good is about to happen. Staring is also how they gather information. Dogs are always trying to figure us out. By watching your facial expressions and movements, they're trying to understand what you're thinking or what you might do next. A confused dog might stare intently while you give a command, trying to piece together what you're really asking. It's important to read the context. A soft, relaxed gaze is loving, but a hard, direct stare with a stiff body can be a sign of aggression or a warning to back off. Most of the time though, when your dog is staring at you, they're either telling you they love you, asking for something, or just trying to better understand their favorite person in the world. Why do dogs tilt their heads? We end with what is arguably the most adorable dog behavior of all, the head tilt. You talk to your dog in a certain tone, or they hear a weird noise and they tilt their head, wrinkle their brow, and look at you with pure, charming confusion. How many people love getting pictures of this? This isn't just for show. It serves some very real purposes. A leading theory is that it helps them hear better. Dogs have amazing hearing and pick up frequencies far beyond what we can. By tilting their head, they're just adjusting their ear flaps to better locate where the sound is coming from. They're trying to pick out familiar words like walk, treat, car ride, bird, squirrel from all the noise we make. Finally, it's a learned behavior we have encouraged. What do we do when a dog tilts its head? We melt. We say, "Aw, who's a good boy?" Or any kind of praise, pats on their head, petting, attention, just attention. Dogs are smart. They quickly learn that this specific move gets a positive, loving reaction from us, or maybe even a treat. So they keep doing it because it works. While an occasional head tilt is normal and cute, a constant tilt that isn't a reaction to sound could be a sign of medical problem, like an ear infection or a balance issue, vestibular disease in their inner ear. In those cases, a trip to the vet probably a good idea. These quirky behaviors are more than just odd habits. They're a window into your dog's mind and a link to the wild past. If your dog is a grass grazer, a bed spinner, a perfume roller, or a master of the head tilt, we want to hear about it. Share your dog's funniest quirk in the comments below. And if you enjoyed decoding your dog's secret language with us, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. From munching on grass to soulful stares, our dog's strangest habits are always a way of communicating. They're telling us about their needs, their instincts, and their deep bond with us. By taking the time to understand why they do what they do, we're not just solving a funny little mystery. We're strengthening the incredible connection we share with them. We're learning to speak their language. So the next time your dog does something totally baffling, just smile. Now you're in on the secret. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.